Geometry, this is for the unit on transformations, and this is going to be the vocabulary for our first lesson in this. So a transformation is basically any kind of rotation, reflection, or translation. A transformation is when you take an original image, we call the original image a pre-image, and we move it somehow to a final image, just move it to another place, and we call that the image. So we've got a pre-image, the original one, so that's the original, pre-image or original, and you've got the image, which is the final. Okay, so pre-image and image. In this case, we're going to look at a rotation. So the image is this dark one, the pre-image is this lighter one, and it turned, and a turn in our vocabulary for geometry is called rotation. And the second one, this darker one again, is the final one. This lighter one is the original, and it just got flipped over this line, and flipping over a line is called a reflection, just like when you look in the mirror you see the opposite image, and so that's reflection. Translation is just sliding it. So if you just move it from one place to the other, so here's our pre-image in the front or down lower, and we slid it up and over a little bit to make this image. So any kind of turn is a rotation, a flip is called a reflection, and a slide is called a translation. So it's just general information for the entire unit we're going to cover on transformations. Specifically, this first one is going to be on reflections. And reflections are something you've been working with. You've talked about the reflection in the mirror, and I know you've reflected things priorly in math classes in your life, whether you realized it was math or not. So this is a transformation. Transformation is all of these together. That is a flip over a point, line, or plane, and we're going to deal with points and lines mostly. A plane usually acts kind of as a line when we're talking about flipping it or doing a reflection across a plane. So you'll need to know how to reflect across a point and reflect across a line. So again, we've got our initial image, which is called our pre-image, and we just give it a letter. And then we have the reflection, and when we give it a letter, we have to put this little prime. We call that thing a prime. So we've got T, which is the pre-image or the initial object, and then we've got T prime, which is the reflection or the image. So looking at this one, sometimes it's called a mirror line. That would make you understand the reflection part better. P is our original or our pre-image. P prime is our reflection or our image. How that works whenever you've got points that are labeled A, B, C. Again, you've got your mirror line. Your original, the pre-image, is triangle ABC, and the image, we call it triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. So that's how that gets labeled. And then on this one, we're reflecting across a mirror line that is basically the x-axis. And so if you notice, our points that are above the axis come straight down. So if it was 7 above, that's what this 7 right here is telling you. We're 7 above the x-axis. We're going to go to -7, so 7 below the x-axis. If we were 2 above, we go to 2 below, so 2 goes to -2. Notice the first coordinates stay the same, the -1, -1. We're the same distance from the y-axis, but we are the same distance away, but you have to change the sign because you're going to the opposite side of it. So again, the 6 stays the same, and the 5 goes from a +5 above to a -5 below. On this one, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That A is 7. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4? 7, 4 on this side. So when you flip across the y-axis, our mirror line is the y-axis. That is still going to be 7 high. Or did I do that right? I think I did that backwards. Hold on. This is the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the point 4, 7. And so this would be the point going back 4 and up 7. So this is -4, 7. So when we flip it across the y-axis, we change the x-coordinate. When we flip across the x-axis, we're going to change the y-coordinate. And you may want to memorize that, or you may just want to draw yourself a quick picture and logic it out. I usually just go through logic to figure these out instead of memorizing a bunch of facts. And then the last word we have is the line of reflection. So instead of calling this the mirror line, we call it the line of reflection, and that's the only thing about this. So our mirror line or our line of reflection, our mirror line or our line of reflection. And then I'll get to points of reflection whenever I start doing the actual example and how points of reflection work. They're slightly different and a little bit more complicated.